All right, all right, all right, all right. Let's get right to it. First of all, what's happening, good people? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to my knee-jerk reaction show. I told you guys I would be extremely late on it tonight because once again, I was in travel mode, in transition today. And as you would know, did not watch the game. Well, actually I did, but I haven't had a chance to rewatch it. But I watched the game, literally watched the game and listened to the game as I was driving. Right? My wife and I, my son and my niece and her little baby. We had to go to New York today. You know, it's a family thing that my wife does. Their family, they go to my wife's family is all from New York. They go to upstate New York every year to go apple picking. Very nice event, right? So we had to do that today. But of course, it would be on the day when the Pittsburgh Steelers play at 9:30 a.m. Eastern time. And I can't even be available for that. So like I said, we head out when the game starts at 9:30. Boom. I cut it on. Right, right there in the car, I'm driving and sitting right here in the dash. My wife is watching it and I'm kind of peeking at it. So I watched it, but I didn't watch it. But I was able to see enough to kind of understand what was happening. And I'll just give you my quick thoughts really quick. And then, of course, guys, I'm going to rewatch the game in full so I can have a better understanding of what happened, how it happened, and things of that nature. But first and foremost, let me just say what's up to all of you good people who are here tonight, man. I see Jared Devil in the building, Y Diggy in the building, Rob Dilla in the building, Daron is in the building, Steeler Cards in the building. Hello, Elisa. The lovely Elisa's in the building. Hello, Miss Lady. Y'all know the routine, fellas. Treat our lovely ladies of Steeler Nation with care. Roll out that red carpet and make sure you say hello. Another one, Erica. Hello, Miss Lady. Good to see you as well. Fellas, y'all know the routine. Take care of our lovely ladies of Steeler Nation. Barber Bill is in the building. James Tresvant in the building. Will I Am is in the building. My brother Kenyon in the building. And Brother Mark 1992. What's happening, man? What's happening, man? I don't think I've seen Brother Mark in a while, but man, always good to see a lot of you guys, man, and gals that have followed me for so long, and I missed one. My bad. Corey B in the building as well. So let's get right to it. Like I told you guys, man, these recap shows of mine are relatively short, so let's get to it. Listen, literally, I watched the game as I was driving, right? I did it carefully. Trust me, I did it carefully. It was right here in the dash. My wife is watching it and I'm listening to it, just peeking, but I couldn't really watch it, obviously, right, in detail. But just a couple things that I saw, man, and was able to take from what I did see and hear. First and foremost, man, I got to go back and watch exactly how the offensive line played throughout the duration of the game. I know we gave up a sack on the very first drive. It was not good to see the Steelers go 3 and out. Forget the kid's name, number 61 for the Vikings. He basically came in untouched. He kind of got around Zach Frazier as well as Mason McCormick, and I don't know who was at fault. I don't know what happened there, but I definitely saw that. And then the offense stalled at that point, right? And then we have to punt it away to the Minnesota Vikings. Clearly, it looked like the offensive line got it going as the game progressed. I mean, if you just pay attention to how the game unfolded, rushing and, for the most part, some of the passes that Aaron Rodgers was able to connect on. And again, I don't think his numbers were gaudy, so I'm going to look at the stats here in just a moment. But again, without being able to physically watch it, without driving, I couldn't really dissect the game the way I normally do. I'll say this as well, man. Something that seemed to stand out to me relatively quick in the game as well, man, is the Pittsburgh Steelers. Our defense against the run has improved over the last couple of weeks. Some people may say, where guys are not running the ball as much or not attempting to run as much. I don't know. I haven't looked at it in that much detail. I'm going to pull up the statistics here, guys. Just looking at what it shows here, as far as the Vikings, listen, they attempted to run the ball 20 times. right? 16 attempts for Jordan Mason. And Jordan Mason had a couple decent runs, had a 9-yard long. He did fumble the ball away as well. But listen, they attempted to run actual runs 18 times. They had 20 attempts, but 2 of those were Carson Wentz. But again, Jordan Mason, 16 carries for 57 yards, averaged 3.6. That's not bad defense, guys. As a whole, there were 20 physical rush attempts to just 70 yards. So again, the Steelers look like we're stepping it up a bit in our run defense because, again, I didn't see no explosive run plays. Maybe the one that Carson Wentz, but again, he's kind of, bootlegs out to the left, and we definitely got to, do a better job with that. From what I saw, again, guys, and I'm going to keep saying that because I told you guys, I was literally watching the game while I was driving, but again, carefully. All highway, wife is sitting right there beside me. We got it in the dash. She's kind of telling me what's happening, and I'm kind of peeking at it, right? Being very careful. What I think I saw with that scramble by Carson Wentz, I think we were in man coverage in that situation, and that's going to happen, guys. When the quarterback notices you in man, and that's sometimes the risk that you run with any quarterback that has any escapability. And, I take a guy like Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow is not known to run, but he is a type of quarterback that if you turn your back to him, he will take off. Carson Wentz is a guy that can move as well. He's not you wouldn't necessarily call him a super duper mobile threat, but he can take off and run. And that's what happened in that scenario. That was really the only explosive run, his 11-yard. Other than that, again, explosive plays are generally 10 yards or more. We held Jordan Mason just short of that. His long was 9 yards. Again, only allowing 70 yards on the ground. The Steelers have definitely changed in that regard. Now, here's where the Steelers, I got to raise an eyebrow a little bit. And we saw a little bit of this against the Patriots. We were getting gutted and gashed in play action or just passes down the field, whether it was the middle of the field, mostly against the Patriots, the middle of the field, or just in general, right? We saw that again today. Again, I can't remember how many of those plays were play action, but I definitely know that Carson Wentz was delivering that ball in different variation spots of the field, in the middle of the field, on the outside. He throws for 350 yards. I don't like that. I don't like that, especially, guys, when we're looking at Carson Wentz threw the ball 46 times. 46 attempts, 30 completions for 350 yards. Now, he did throw 2 interceptions. That was great. Defense came away with 2 interceptions, but then also, threw 2 touchdowns. And again, I don't like that amount of yardage. It is the NFL. I understand that. So I'm not going to sit here and say, we got to hold every team under 200 yards passing or whatever. It's not always realistic that that's going to happen. But I don't like that. I really want our defense I want to see a game where we can put together both the run defense and pass defense are kind of hand in hand, if you understand what I'm saying. I want to see us maybe put together a game where a team total yards might be 350 or 300, right? And maybe they throw it for 230 yards and maybe they rush for another 70 or 80, something like that, where total yards isn't crazy and neither one of them individually were crazy. I want to see us put together an effort like that, and that'll make me start to feel a little better about what the defense is capable of. But there you have it, man. Listen, holding again an NFL team to 21 points or less, not a bad thing. Now, let's look at the Steelers. Once again, man, Aaron Rodgers didn't have to be Superman, right? Did not have to be Superman. Threw the ball 22 times, not mad at that. Completed 18 of those, 200 yards even. His quarterback rating was 119.7. He was sacked twice. And again, like I said, guys, I got to go look at that. And I think the same guy sacked him twice, the kid, number 61. So definitely got to study the game again and kind of see where we're getting sacked and things like that. But guys, what I was most proud about in this game, just from an offensive standpoint from the Steelers, yes, it might not be 30 points, 35 points, 40 points. Doesn't have to be that. We scored 24 points, but this was the thing that excited me the most today. We finally were able to run the football. Kenneth Gainwell. Don't get me started about Kenneth Gainwell, guys. I'm going to give you all a side story. I have Kenneth Gainwell on my fantasy team. Let me explain to you who else I got. I don't really have any beast running backs, right? Let me explain to y'all who I have on my roster. Just really quick. I have Trey Benson now, picked him up when James Conner went down. So I played Trey Benson and I have Kenneth Walker. Those guys played on Thursday. I had no idea, as most of you guys as well, I had no idea that Jaylen Warren would be ruled out. Had I known that in enough time, I would have put Kenneth Gainwell in as one of my backs. Or, let's say, even finding out late today, I may have put him as a flex. But once again, folks, like I told you, I was traveling. I was in the car. The Steelers played at 9:30. I had no time to make this change. Kenneth Gainwell put up 31.4 points in my league. But anyway, man, what an outstanding game by Kenneth Gainwell, man. He did some really solid things. Again, 19 carries, 99 yards, 2 touchdowns, 5.21 average, a 15-yard long. That's all we need right there. That's all we need. Did see Caleb Johnson get a few carries as well, only 6 attempts. Only 22 yards, but again, only 6 attempts. So I hope Caleb, I know Jaylen Warren is not playing, but I definitely hope we can start getting Caleb Johnson back into the fold. I promise you guys, I have no doubt that this guy is going to hit when his number is called. He's going to hit. I mean, it's no way he plays the way he plays in college. Running backs are a little easier to be able to translate into the NFL. I think he is going to be something. Just give him time. We have Warren and Gainwell ahead of him right now. I'm just glad that he did get a chance to touch the football again after, the debacle that he had in the previous games. Also, Kenneth Gainwell, man, had a couple receptions. 6 receptions for 35 yards. So this dude, had well over 100 yards from scrimmage, had a great game. Here's another thing I was happy to see by the Steelers offense. No, we didn't really take a deep shot downfield, but we did get an 80-yard touchdown from a quick slant. The reason why that makes me happy is the Steelers looking like they will throw slants again. Aaron Rodgers to DK Metcalf, and yes, DK Metcalf still has the speed, the long speed to get in the end zone, and before he goes into the end zone, to make sure he gets in the end zone, he throws that shoulder and runs through the defender. Beautiful way to finish off that touchdown right there. That was a great thing to see. Great thing to see, man. So again, if you look at Aaron Rodgers' numbers, you'd be like, he didn't do much, but he was efficient. And this is the thing, guys. When the Steelers can play that type of game, again, I got to rewatch to see what all of the issues was. I'm going to say it again for newcomers who are coming in tonight. They didn't hear me say this 10 minutes ago. Did not sit down in home stationary to watch the game. I was on the road. I literally had to listen to it, peek at it from time to time, and rely on what my wife was saying as well in the passenger seat because we were on the road. But again, being on the highway, I was able to kind of glance here, glance there, and kind of saw enough. But I would say this: if the Steelers can play this brand of football where we're rushing for virtually 100 yards, as a team, we rush for 131 yards. But if we can have almost a 100-yard rusher and Gainwell or whoever the back is, then you don't need Aaron Rodgers to do so much. And if the defense can hold the team 21 points or less, which we did today, don't allow 100 yards on the ground from the offense, can win games like this. A couple other things I want to talk about, guys, before we wrap up. And I apologize if anybody has donated and I missed it. My bad. I'm not looking at the screen right now, but I apologize if anybody has dropped some Wonder Bread in there. Thank you if you did. And I'll come back to the chat here in just a second. A couple other things I wanted to talk about, guys, as far as, my first go-round of half watching the game. Couple key moments. One very key moment. We cannot allow this play to go unnoticed. I've been on this guy this season so far, but Peyton Wilson made one heck of a play. One heck of a play to not allow the touchdown when he did, when Jordan Addison was streaking down the field. Round of applause to Peyton Wilson. What a play, guys. Listen, they teach it at the little league level. We're teaching it right now with my son's team in his, sixth grade team, right? Everybody to the ball, everybody hustle, and the play isn't over until the whistle blows. And what a play. What a play by Peyton Wilson to basically catch up with Addison and tackle him before he could get into the end zone. Because what it did do is it allowed more and more and more time to tick off that clock. I think the commentator said they lost basically about 45 seconds during that time. Two more plays took place. They didn't score. They finally scored, but it left them not a lot of time left. And that was outstanding, man. That was outstanding. So again, I be on Peyton Wilson, but you keep making plays like that, just showing me your effort. I will allow you to continue to better your game, even though I understand this is his second season. I will allow him to have time to get better as a player and attacking gaps and all of that if you show me that type of effort. But that is a play that cannot go unnoticed. Cannot go unnoticed. Other than that, let me see. I want to see what was the how did we do in terms of, oh yeah, that can't forget that. 6 sacks on the day. 6 of them. Outstanding, man. Peyton Wilson, like I said, this guy had 2 tackles for loss, 13 total tackles, 8 solo. Patrick Queen, 11 total tackles, 8 solo. Those guys played fairly well today, man. Fairly well today. He had a sack. I definitely remember seeing that peeking over while I was driving and saw that. Watt with a sack. Elliott had a sack. I remember that one. Herbig, 1 point, 1.5. They're giving him that. Keanu Benton looked like he had a pretty solid game. They're giving him 1.5 sacks. So again, the Steelers ended up with 6 total sacks. Listen, Nate, I keep telling you guys, Nick Herbig, man, I love this pick. I loved it last year. This guy just continues to show why he needs to continue to be in the rotation and handling himself well as the lead guy opposite TJ Watt while Alex Highsmith is out. So we continue to build momentum. 2 people I'm going to talk about really quick. I have one office visit. Well, 2. Chuck Clark. Come on in the office really quick, sir. We don't have all night. Really quick. Mr. Chuck Clark, I know you're new to the Steelers organization, but you're not new to the NFL. Can you tell me exactly what you were doing in that coverage situation when Carson Wentz hit Jordan Addison that should have had a touchdown and had it not been for your teammate, Peyton Wilson? Can you tell me exactly what you were doing? And I've been trying to be nice, Chuck Clark, but there have been more of these moments, right? In some of these previous games, there's been more moments I haven't talked about you much, but this one was on display for the world to see, particularly in that situation. With the lead that we have currently, with the amount of time that's left in the game, how does that happen, sir? When you are one of the furthest people back on the defense? What were you doing? What were you doing? You're dismissed, sir. One last office visit. My guy, you know I love you. Hey, look, he's already looking in the office because he knew I was gonna call him. I've loved you for a long time, dating all the way back to your college days, my friend. Come on in here. Mr. Jalen Ramsey. Gotta get on you, brother. My wife is my witness that I said this when it happened. Hey, I loved it. I love it. You're being cute. You're being cheeky, as they say. When you thought you had a touchdown, hey, way to be Johnny on the spot. You thought you had a touchdown and you faked a hamstring injury. Then you did the gritty on him. Oh, I see what you did. You're taunting Justin Jefferson. But guess what happened, sir? Later on in the game, you end up with a hamstring injury. The same leg, if I'm not mistaken. You ever heard that old saying? I know I used to hear this all the time growing up. Two things they used to always say not to do, and some of the people in the chat here probably will agree. Hey, don't play on crutches. You might end up on them. Hey, don't play in wheelchairs. You might end up in one. I heard that growing up as a youngster. From family, friends, people at school, coaches. That it reminded me of that. As soon as you did that, I told my wife, because again, I'm driving, I was like, you saw what he did there. And I explained to her what it was about. I said, I don't like that though, man. You jinxed yourself. And some people might say, dang, Sim, you jinxed him. No, I didn't. He jinxed himself. I literally told her, don't do that. Hey, he shouldn't do that. Don't play like that. And he ended up with Jalen Ramsey. You've been playing well for us. So I'm going to let you go. But I had to bring you in for an office visit for that. You get the dunce cap of the day, sir. Dismissed. But all right, guys, let me get into the chat really quick. Let me know if y'all got anything. Like I said, man, I was not looking in the chat. So if any of you guys have donated, if you've thrown Wonder Bread in here and I missed it, my bad. I thank you. I'm only going to spend a few minutes, guys. I'm going to get out of here. What y'all got? Anything? Derek Moore says, I'm in ATL now and went to a restaurant with my Steelers gear. The worker says, my cousin is number 77. That's cool. I said, call him before this game and tell him to block. Yeah, I saw Kenyon said he had a good game. So again, I can't wait till I can rewatch and study. But he said he had a good game. Kenyon also says Roman is going to have to step up, Brother Mark, or the Steelers would draft Markai Lemon to replace him. Okay. And you guys, I'm sure you guys have peeped the title of this video. I said the Steelers get one for the ambassador. Man, shout outs to, the Rooney family and Mr. I'm not even going to say his name. If y'all don't know who the ambassador is, but shout outs to him, man. Would he have loved to have seen that himself with his own two eyes? And again, the connection, guys, with the Rooney family in Ireland, this is something that they have been wanting to make happen for several years as far as a regular season game. And it almost seemed like you needed to go get that win. And they got the job done. And that's why, I put Mike Tomlin in the thumbnail. Listen, I know people give Tomlin crap a lot, but guys, you got to highlight, again, it's early in the season, but you got to highlight, that, when we win a game, nobody ever says anything. Nobody ever says it's coaching. When we lose, they point the finger at Tomlin. Now, real quick, I will say, and I'll get more into this. I'm going to get more into this on Tuesday, but I will say, I wondered whether or not we should have went for that fourth down near the end of, down the stretch in the end of the fourth quarter where we could potentially, put it away. I understand what Greg Olsen was saying, but I also understand the trust that Tomlin felt he had in the defense. I don't know why he went that route. I did not listen to the post-conference yet, but I know a lot of times he says it's gut feeling for him. Maybe in his gut, he just felt like the defense was going to hold. I don't know. I can understand anybody saying, nah, man, you should have went for that. But again, this is a results bias type of situation. Had we not stopped them, some of y'all would have lost y'all's mind, right? But, how do you feel that the defense did get it done? So that's why it's hard for me to say it was a bad decision or a good decision. I can see the argument on both sides, but I'll get more into that on Tuesday. But like I said, man, to be sitting at 3-1 right now is interesting because the way we looked against the Jets as far as how much we gave up, the way we looked the very next week as far as how much we gave up, and then we kind of showed up a little bit against the Patriots, bend them, don't break, and then you go play a defense, a Brian Flores defense, the same guy that a lot of y'all would say Tomlin was stupid for letting go and all of that. And again, y'all don't understand the dynamic of that? Tomlin literally said, I'm giving this guy a job because I know he's to get him another job. That was, I'm going to watch your back. I got you. Come on over here and you're going to get another opportunity, whether it's coordinator, whether it's head coach. And that's what happened. Tomlin literally said that. But the narrative is, oh, he's stupid. He don't know what he's doing. Let this guy go. But that same guy, somehow today, Arthur Smith and company, I'll throw Tomlin in there a little bit, they were able to get it done against a tricky defense. We were able to get it done. So did not expect, to be sitting at 3-1 at this point. We desperately need it because that schedule about to kick up, bro. It's about to kick up. So just wanted to give a little credit there, man. And, we'll see how the rest of this thing goes. Again, guys, I'm not going to get overly excited or overly down. Let me see 6 games, and then I will really tell you what I think this team is. It looks like they're starting to shape a little bit. Offensive line, I don't like some of the miscommunication I'm seeing, but let me study this game and see, because some of you guys are saying the O-line did fairly well today. But like I said, with me driving and such and just peeking at the game, I can't put 2 and 2 together yet until I rewatch. But what an excellent win today, man. We're going into the bye 3-1. We desperately needed that. So I'm very excited by that. Anything else y'all got before I go? Yeah, Fry Move need to step up, man. Dr. Trey 88 says Vikings are a very experienced team when it comes to playing international games. Tomlin had his team ready. And see, y'all know I don't believe in that saying. Dr. Trey 88 is right, but y'all know I'm going to keep my same thought about that saying of having a team ready. I think coaches have their teams ready every week. Good coaches. I don't think there's a week in the NFL that goes by. Let's just talk about our team that Tomlin doesn't have the team ready. We just don't perform all the time. So I'm not going to give him credit today and say he had them ready. I think he has the team ready every week. That's just my opinion. What else, guys? Anything else? Walter Worthy says 3.5 quarters of top tier football by the good guys. He says, and coaching. The last half of the fourth quarter was very questionable. Yeah, I will say that too. Let me say this one last thing before I go. Guys, I just don't understand teams that have that philosophy of, oh, let's just play soft. I get what they're trying to do. You try to let, teams try to let you kill your own clock. I understand that. But just from a a mentality standpoint, just play the same defense. And if they beat you, they beat you. But if we've come this far and we up however many points we was up, I can't remember what we were up by, 11 or something like that. Play the same defense. Stop being cute. And so many teams do that. And we see the Steelers do it all the time. But again, do I understand the philosophy from a coach? Sure, but I can't stand that. I cannot stand that. I cannot stand that, man. Like, please stop doing that. Play the same defense. It's working. So have confidence. And this ain't just our team. A lot of coaches do this, but I'm going to talk to our team. Have confidence in what you have been doing and let them keep doing that. Don't worry about trying to bleed the clock. Go dominate on defense. Simple. Hate it. I just hate it, man. Oh, I hate it. Yeah, I feel you, Derek. I feel you on that one. But outside of that, guys, let me wrap this thing up, man. Let me get out of here. It's already late. I'll see you guys on Tuesday for sure. Great win by the Pittsburgh Steelers. Desperately needed that one, man. And look, to be sitting at 3-1, what a surprise by the Ravens. And you know, I know, listen, they got some injuries and stuff on defense, but every team has injuries. We dealing with them. Ravens are in a tough little hole right now, man. Again, look, considering some of the people that they losing to. Lost to the Bills, a loss to the Chiefs, that could hurt them down the stretch because you would expect them to be a playoff contender. But this 1-3 hole is deep. It's deep when you think about down the road and what records could mean. And again, it's early for all of the teams, but I'm just saying, yeah. And Lamar Jackson is my franchise quarterback, and he did absolutely nothing today. But anyway, guys, I'm getting out of here. I will see y'all on Tuesday. Y'all know the routine. If you haven't already, boom, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on those notifications. Please, please, please. Anybody, and some of y'all have done it. If you are donating outside of YouTube, which is Cash App, which is PayPal, information is in the description, but I always want to mention that because you guys be doing it. I always want to say thank you. Thank you. I want to give you your credit on air. The last thing, my normal spill. Great win today. Y'all be safe. Stay healthy. God bless. Good night. Like always, I thank each and every one of you all for tuning in. I'll see you guys on Tuesday this week, back at 9 p.m. Eastern time, and we'll chop it up some more. Peace.